Welcome everybody. Today we'll take a look at the 2020 film The Main Event. The movie begins with an 11-year-old boy named Leo dreaming of becoming a WWE superstar. He dreams of huge crowds cheering him on as he effortlessly executes his signature move on his opponent in the ring. All of a sudden, his grandmother, Denise, startles him awake with an ankle lock and tells him it's time to get ready for school. Next, his father Steve enters the room and asks Leo to get ready for school. Meanwhile, we see that Leo's walls are covered with inspirational wrestling posters. And not just that, his shelves are overflowing with WWE artifacts. After Leo leaves for school, Denise confronts Steve, telling him that he needs to rest for a while. Steve has just returned from work and is already on his way to his second job. Leo arrives at his school and catches up with his best friends, Caleb and Riaz. Riaz urges him to join the junior boy wrestling team due to his love for wrestling, but Leo declines, saying he's not fit for it. In the meantime, a boy named Luke, along with his friends, arrive and start bullying Leo, calling him a coward. While calling him names, he takes Leo's sketchbook and mocks him in front of everyone. However, their teacher, Mrs. Cartwright, arrives just at that moment and sends the bullies to the principal's office as a punishment. After school, the bullies find Leo again and start chasing him on the bicycle. And to hide from them, Leo detours into a yard and hides inside a house that is holding an estate sale. The bullies follow him inside the house as well, but the man who's in charge of the sale chases them away. While hiding in a room, Leo discovers a box containing a wrestling mask. Meanwhile, the man opens the door and asks him what he's doing there. Truthfully, he replies that he was hiding from the bullies to get them off his tail. Leo then shows him the mask he found, implying his fondness for it, and the man tells him that he can take it home. Later that night, Leo and Denise are watching wrestling together. In the midst of it, they see an advertisement for an upcoming contest to win $50,000 and a WWE wrestling contract. Meanwhile, Steve returns from work, and when Leo mentions his mother during the conversation, he changes the subject and leaves. After a while, Leo overhears Steve and Denise arguing in the kitchen. Denise scolds Steve for always working and not spending time with his son. Steve, on the other hand, responds that things have been difficult for him since Leo's mother abandoned them. He also fears that they will lose the house due to non-payment. Next, Leo returns to his room and takes out the mask from earlier. When he puts it on, his voice deepens, and suddenly, he becomes more confident. Leo realizes that the mask gives him super strength, so to test it out, he goes outside and breaks a few things, including a large tree. Later, he conducts various Google searches and discovers that the mask is a legendary magic mask. Apparently, it grants super strength to the person wearing it and can only be used by a truly deserving champion. The next day, when Leo arrives at school, he finds the bullies harassing his friends. Now that he has the power of the mask, he turns off the lights and fights them, hanging them from their lockers by their underwear. Meanwhile, their teacher arrives and demands that Leo go to the principal's office for punishment. Later, while hanging out with his friends, Leo once again notices the advertisement for the wrestling competition with a $50,000 prize pool. He thinks for a moment, and realizing his family is in desperate need of money, Leo decides to participate. Immediately the next day, Leo goes to the wrestling competition and adopts the name Kid Chaos. There he befriends an adult wrestler named Smooth Operator and makes it through all of the audition stages to move on to the next round. That night, he arrives home late and sneaks in through the windows, but he gets caught by Denise. Leo tells her the truth about what's going on with the mask. He also explains his plan to win the $50,000 so they can keep their house. Initially, Denise is hesitant as he may put his life in danger, but after some persuasion from Leo, she agrees to support him throughout the process. In the next scene, Leo and his friends are hanging out in the library while discussing how cool the new wrestler Kid Chaos is. Meanwhile, Leo continues to stare at Erica, the girl he has had a crush on for a very long time. His friends persuade him to go talk to her, but Leo refuses, claiming that she's smart and beautiful and that he lacks the confidence to approach her. However, his friends persuade him that since he was strong enough to stand up to the bullies earlier, all he needs to do now is summon the same confidence. Then, while hiding behind the books, Leo puts on the mask and invites Erica to hang out with him later, to which she eagerly agrees. Over the next week, Leo advances in the wrestling tournament, while Denise helps him to keep this a secret from his father. At home, Steve is having difficulty bonding with Leo. He tries to teach Leo about vehicles, but he does not seem interested at all. One day, Erica pays a surprise visit to Leo's home, and since he can't be confident without the mask, he becomes extremely nervous to speak with her. Due to this, Erica is weirded out as she observes his unusual behavior. Later that night, Leo defeats every wrestler and proceeds to the semi-final round, where he will face his good friend Smooth Operator. Smooth informs him that it has always been his dream to fight at WWE, but has never been successful. He further says that he cannot afford to miss this opportunity, and that he must win the tournament this time. However, Leo and Smooth agree that they won't go easy on each other, and that the best person will win. In the next scene, Leo and his friends are in a cafe, discussing the upcoming talent event in school. Erica expresses a desire to dance at the event, but is too afraid to do it alone, so Leo instantly offers to help her by partnering with her. In the meantime, a robber enters the cafe, and everyone begins to panic. Having no other choice, Leo wears the mask and starts thrashing the thief. As Kid Chaos is in the headlines, wrestling champion Samson and his manager Frankie is watching him on television. Since Samson is one of the finalists in the wrestling event, he becomes enraged seeing Kid Chaos's fame and smashes the TV in rage. Now, Frankie starts to devise a plan to take Kid Chaos out of the picture so that Samson can win. In the meantime, Leo's friends are shocked to find out that their friend is the legendary Kid Chaos. Erica tells him that he has inspired her and that she has accepted his offer to perform in the talent show. Over the next few weeks, Leo continues to practice dance with Erica while also preparing for the wrestling match. Now, the semi-final match between Leo and Samson is about to begin. However, Samson's manager Frankie has placed wax on the steps, hoping that Leo would injure himself. As Leo approaches the stage, he trips over the wax and falls. Due to this, the rest of the match becomes extremely difficult for him, but somehow Leo manages to win the round against Smooth Operator and progress to the final round. After the event, Frankie is furious that Kid Chaos has won again. He overhears Leo and his friends chatting and finds out that he is just a kid using a magical mask to fight. After being humiliated at a press conference by Kid Chaos, Samson becomes violent, but Frankie calms him down by revealing the truth about Kid Chaos and says that he has a plan to bring him down. Next, it's talent show day, and Erica and Leo are supposed to dance together, but Leo is preoccupied with the interview and fan meetings. As her name is called, Erica enters the stage nervously and starts to dance alone. Seeing this, Caleb feels horrible and joins her on stage, and they perform a flawless dance together. Later, Leo arrives late for the talent show and apologizes to his friends. When his friends berate him for being late, he claims that he was busy doing something significant instead of a silly talent show. Hearing this, his friends get mad at him for being arrogant. At home, Steve approaches him and tries to talk to him, but Leo angrily asks him to go away. When Denise arrives and asks what's wrong, Leo admits that he believed the mask would solve all of his issues, but things are just getting worse. Hearing this, Denise reminds him that the magical mask does not make him strong, but true strength comes from within. And she adds that the only way to bring out true strength is to have faith in himself. The next morning, Leo apologizes to his friends for his arrogance, and seeing Leo realize his mistake, they forgive him. And as they talk, everyone becomes excited about the wrestling tournament's grand finale. On the final night of the tournament, Samson and Frankie pay a visit to Leo in his locker room. They tell Leo that they know everything about the mask, but they won't disclose anything. While Frankie's sweet talk distracts Leo and Denise, Samson secretly replaces the magic mask with a replica mask. Steve is watching from home as the final match begins. In the first half, Samson brutally beats Leo, who tries to fight back, but is completely powerless. Leo soon realizes the mask is fake and removes it in front of everyone. At that moment, Steve notices Leo on the television, and he hurries to stop him. When the referee realizes Leo is just a kid, he tries to stop Samson from beating him up. But in the heat of the moment, Samson beats up the referee as well. He then tries to put on the real mask, but it is too tiny for his head, so he throws it in frustration, which gets stuck in the cage. Realizing that this is getting out of hand, Leo tries to convince Samson to strike a deal and spare him, but Samson grabs him and throws him into the air as Leo manages to grab the cage. Meanwhile, Steve comes and advises Leo that every fighter has a weakness, and he just needs to find that out. Leo watches Samson shaking and sweating to reach the top, which indicates that he is afraid of heights. He teasingly pushes Samson to get the mask, which is stuck at the top of the cage. Now, Samson is compelled to stand on top of the rope, and as a result of his fear, he falls unconscious. Finding him at his weakest, Leo makes his dream move and crushes Samson, ultimately winning the battle. Leo receives the $50,000 check and admits on television that he is just 11 years old. He takes the money, but offers Smooth Operator the opportunity for the WWE deal. Also, WWE assures Leo that he will have a position in their organization when he is older. 2 weeks later, Leo joins the school wrestling team, and now he is confident even without the mask. As the film concludes, Leo is seen wrestling with his bully, while his father cheers him on from the audience.